faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. Look, up in the sky, it's a bird brain, it's a plane, it's iWalter. Yes, it's iWalter, strange visitor from another planet who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. iWalter, who can change the course of mighty rivers, bend ears with his annoying voice, and who disguised as Walter Interranti, mild-mannered janitor for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth, nonsense, and the American way. And now, another exciting episode in the adventures of iWalter.
Hey, this is iWalter. Yes, it is me in the buff. Not. Anyway, hey, you know what? I'm doing a special feature show tonight. I promised I would do it for, let me make sure I get your name right, Ryan Vincent Logsdon. He did this film called AGONi. I watched it last night. I really enjoyed it. I can't say enough about it. And I promised Ryan I would, if it was cool with him, if I could do a show just on his movie, because I thought it was really good. I was impressed. In fact, unfortunately, in some ways, I was also pissed because, I did go. I mean, not say anything about Ryan, but I want to, change my major to communications, and the stuff I had done in the past. I think Ryan actually did take some classes when he was in college in the same field. But he was very smart, because the thing you needed to do is, when I was taking when I was your age, when I was taking communications courses in college at Cabrini and at Montgomery County Community College, they try to steer you into, a certain mold. Oh, you got to follow these mechanical rules and blah, blah, blah. So, you know what? That's actually a big mistake. You got to kind of think outside the box. I mean, I am sorry for being cliche, but I'm thinking about it. And it's like, you know what? That's what made Quentin Tarantino really famous. Kevin Smith actually dropped out of film school. He went to film school in Vancouver. I told the man, dude, I checked out the Vancouver Film School. I actually went as far as setting something up. I called the guy, from the East Coast, on the West Coast where Vancouver is. I called the film school and I set it up. But bottom line is I ended up never going there. I just thought it would be it was really nice. The guy was very nice that I had spoken to on the phone. But it was you know what, maybe I better not do this. It's not realistic. But getting back to Ryan's movie of AGONi, I think he actually was very smart. He thought outside the box. I actually went through a long discussion a little bit on Facebook, texting back and forth to get some drill for information, because I thought the film was phenomenal. I liked it. So he liked what I wrote about his, comment on his film. So I'm going to look for that too. But I wanted to go into what Ryan actually had said in our discussion back and forth. I was talking pretty, texting back and forth. Anyway, I'm going to try to look for what I wrote. Basically, I wrote on his Facebook page, because if I don't like something, trust me, I will, obviously, if you listen to any of my other shows, I will let you know. And honestly, I was hoping, I was thinking that his film was going to be kind of crappy. And, it was because I've seen enough of these films from Pennsylvania, and most of them are just freaking garbage. I'm sorry. And I've seen a lot of independent films, and I don't like any of them. I watched Ryan's, and it was like, whoa, wait a minute. This is actually someone who actually thinks out of the box. And he shot it in such a way, Ryan did, that he basically didn't use music. It looked like somebody might have just picked up this tape out of a field, meaning that, oh my God, these fucking serial killers, excuse my language, there goes that explicit thing, found this tape and handed it in to the cops, and now it's in their possession, and this is what you're going to be seeing. It looked authentic. It really looked authentic. So that's why I'm like going off about Ryan's film. And he said I'm going to have to look it up. He said he edited it on Microsoft 2010. And it was like, and he used an ordinary camera. I said, dude, did you use any external mics? Because the mic, the volume of the sound sounded really decent. It sounded good. I mean, I've shot things. I've used external mics and things like that. They sound not bad. His sounded really good. I was surprised. He got an ordinary. I'll look up the number again for the Canon camera he used. But it's like, dude, you really did a great job. I mean, I can't say enough about it. I'm trying to look for what I wrote, so I apologize for kind of mingling on. Okay, this is my story. See more. And I'm going to post the picture I posted on Ryan of his cover. I liked it. I didn't understand his cover at first. You watch the movie, it will make sense why he chose the cover. It's a sketch of Ryan himself, but he's actually as the character he plays. And it makes sense after you watch the film. I basically wrote, I just said I just received this film, which was yesterday, and I must confess, I wasn't expecting much good from this film, basically. But, because it's a low-budget film, but it looks authentic. It looks like a snuff film, basically. It really does, and it's very creepy in many parts, but creepy as, like, hey, if it really gets you moved. I mean, there were scenes, I swear to God, I was actually, like, yelling at the screen. It's like, don't do that. Or I was just creeped out. I mean, I was freaking creeped out. I don't want to say anything. Now, some people see it, I apologize, and they say, oh, well, this is not realistic. It's a fucking film, folks. It is not supposed to be reality. And there was a couple things I was trying to drill Ryan on tonight when I was talking back and forth. And I was saying to, kind of drilling him, I was like, dude, this is like actually kind of like, I hope you didn't hurt anybody in this film. I mean, that's how realistic it is. And I know he didn't. It's just, it was very dark, very disturbing. He did an excellent job of getting his point across. And it's like, dude, you thought out of the box. I have to say that you did a really good job. It looks like, I told him, I said, dude, this looks like something you basically found of, from the Charles Manson years. It looks like an authentic 70s kind of feel to it. Him not using music in the background was very impressive. You don't need music to make it creepy. He did a good job. It really looks like this guy was going around, and there was his accomplice that were basically victimizing and killing people, torturing them, and then killing them, and doing other things. And I there were scenes in there. I mean, it was a little bit, I guess, but he was smart. He cut it, I think, just right, I guess. Maybe some stuff, I guess, he wasn't too happy with. It's difficult. I was afraid, honestly, with Ryan, I'm going to say, I thought you were going to use, like, those transitions when I heard you were using Microsoft. You did not use any type of transitions minus you did nice cuts. You did very good cuts. I mean, I went to school for this stuff. And you impressed me. I thought it was much better, like I said, than some of the, exploitation snuff films I've seen. They're not real. Please don't tell me there's actually a real one out there. I'm glad that it was low budget too, because obviously he had to be more creative on the victims, making them look like they were mutilated. And trust me, mutilation would be the word you want to use. The graininess actually added to that effect. So I'm really hoping for Ryan's sake that, maybe Sundance, hello, you got to look at this, because this is something that's got some real good potential. I was really, honestly, I swear to God, I went into this film, I apologize, I don't mean to be swearing, but I was really thinking, oh my God, this is going to be a horrible film. I'm sorry, but he really pulled it off. The girls were very cute that he had, but that girl who was his accomplice or whatever, or the one working with him, was just as creepy as Ryan's character. Ryan made sure to keep him, maybe intentionally and not intentionally, keep himself out of focus He kept the girl in focus, but that was very clever. And how it ends is very poetic. I told him, when I was talking to or texting him back and forth, I said, dude, it was very poetic how you ended the film. Poetic justice, so to speak. It's people you meet in your life that kind of annoy you, and, they got to talk about themselves and how wonderful they are. And I'll leave it at that, but it was definitely poetic justice. He adds humor in the right spots because you had to kind of lighten the mood. I said to Ryan tonight, it's like Hamlet with the Gravediggers. If you remember that part, the Gravediggers were put in Hamlet because Hamlet was a very deep, dark play, and his is more. It's a film. It's a full length film. It's 106 minutes if I remember correctly. I'm going to take a look. I'm looking at Ryan's thing right now. But he really put energy and effort into everything, and so did the actors and actors that he got for his film. Ryan, you got a good crew there. There was a guy who plays a drug pusher, and that guy did a really good job. I mean, dude, I tip my hat to Ryan, to your actors, your actresses. And the guy who even played, I felt so freaking bad for that freaking guy. I'll leave it at that. I'm saying way too much already. I just don't want to disappoint people trying to boost it up because I went in with no expectations. But if you really are a person who enjoys, I don't want to use the word enjoy. That's a bad word to use. But if you understand where snuff films, how they're made, how they're put together. Not real ones. I hope you know these aren't real. But how snuff films work, the whole premise, like 16 millimeter, I think, with, what do you call it? That was that film supposed to be about investigating snuff films. Please tell me they don't exist. But Ryan was trying to get a job. I think he did at this point, working with Toe Tag. It's a film company upstate Pennsylvania. And I don't know if I really can say much of the stuff I'll see on there. I'll watch stuff and I'll say, this is okay. And I watch a lot of stuff on Chiller that are these independent films. And most of them are, I saw one film, I can't remember, but it was really freaking creepy. I had to turn it off. But Ryan was, I'm glad that some of the stuff he showed was very disturbing, but there was other things I guess he just didn't have the budget to do, and I'm really glad because I would have probably just turned it off if it was too gross. You know what? He left enough. That's good film work on Ryan's part because having a low budget makes you have to work harder on making things look real, which he did in many parts. But it also left a lot up to your imagination. I mean, the man did an incredible job. I want to look at what Ryan wrote because I'm afraid if I say too much, I'll just ruin the whole freaking film. So I don't want to do that for Ryan. He is going to be he has it posted on his weblog. Again, look for Ryan Vincent Logsdon because he will probably have posted, I think, on his webpage about his horror fest that he's going to... I want to go. I just don't know if I have the money to go with it. But anyway, I was conversing with him for a short period of time. Actually, maybe a little longer than a short period of time. I'm just not grabbing everything right now. Anyway, I'm looking at it. And if you want to know how his film is spelled, it's all caps and it's AGONi. It's a fictional town, I believe. I forgot to text Ryan if that was or was not. His camera he used was a Canon Vixa HFR 100, and I asked him, "Did you use an external mic?" Because the mic levels were really decent, and he said, "No, I didn't. I shot everything from the camcorder." Because I had taken last summer a refresher course down in Philly at a local PBS station. It's more like it's a local PBS station. It doesn't go it's called not Me TV. I can't remember, but it's out at the heart of Philly. I had taken this class, and they say, "Oh, you never should use the internal mic when you film. You never want to do that." So I end up spending a shitload of money. I bought a really good camera that was used. It was beat to crap, and an external mic that uses XLR. And it was like, wait a minute, Ryan, you didn't do that, but it sounds good. I like what you had to offer. So, yeah, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to see. But I was impressed by that. I definitely was, Ryan. Yeah, he said he also edited on 2010 Microsoft Movie Maker. When he said that, it was like, dude, if I didn't watch your film and you told me you used, Ryan, if you used 2010, I was like, why are you using that? That's like a joke. But he made it work. He really made it work. Dude, people, this is what snuff exploitation should look like, in my opinion. You haven't seen that in almost, let me see, 1970s. You're talking like 30-some years or 40-some years, because I'm born in 67. You're almost talking like 40 years. You have not seen anything on this type of level. So, I really want to promote Ryan's movie. He said he liked doing the post-production work, so I have to agree. I like doing the post. The actual video shooting is very difficult for me. I thought the story was well plotted out. He said he had to change a few things, which you have to watch. I can't really say without ruining it. And I said, you know what? The things you had to change due to actors not agreeing upon what he wanted to do or a budget, it worked. It really freaking worked. I thought it's like dark comedy, but not like, it's not you're gonna laugh, but you're not gonna laugh out loud. Well, maybe you will. I mean, there was parts, because it's a dark film. It's not necessarily dark comedy, because it is definitely on the line. He did a good job of making a good snuff exploitation. And it's supposed to be found footage, because it has on the bottom, like, under police or something. I can't remember what he put on the one corner through the whole film. And the thing was, I told Ryan tonight, by the way, I said, when your film was done, it was like, okay, is this it? So that's a good sign. When you watch a movie and you're done with it, and it's like you fell off the side of a cliff because you wanted more to go from where it left off. So that's a good sign. That's a very good sign. Because I remember when I had taken it was a class at Cabrini on, I guess, literature. They say most good stories don't have an end. They leave it open-ended. Like, they leave that, like, there's more to come, but you're never going to know. You have to at least it up to the reader. And that's what Ryan actually did. Yeah, if you watch the very last scene, the cover of the box will make sense if you actually check out his movie, which I would recommend. I mean, if you like these type of films, I'm going to have to, like, really push his film anywhere I can, because I really liked it. I'm trying to read what Ryan might have wrote. I don't want to ruin anything, because it was stuff just to get stuff out of him. So I could basically do this tonight. Oh, okay, yeah, I basically asked him, I said, dude, did you do this deliberately? It looks like the film was, like, lost footage. And he said, I never really thought of it that way. Found evidence, because he made it look that way, and he kind of laughed about it in the text. And it was like, dude, that's what it looks like. I thought that was really clever. Sometimes you kind of stumble upon, you don't see it, and it's like other people see things, I guess. So that's a good sign, too. Yeah, I asked him, I don't want to ruin it, but maybe at a later show, if people actually would want to know. I don't know, because I don't really have a good listener base. But I asked him how, like, it looked like one of the victims, their spine was hanging out of their back. And he said he used, I'm kind of ruining it, I guess. But you know what? I hope I pique your interest, because it really creeped me out. And he said, yeah, he did it with lighting, a torn shirt, and fake blood. It was like, dude, that's really clever. You used your imagination and you made it work, because it looked real. It looked real. The graininess of the film just added to the whole thing. Yeah, the ending is definitely something that it was well written for an end. He doesn't put credits at the end of the movie. It just kind of leaves you in the dark. But that's a good thing, though, because what he really did was, hey, if you find footage that just, like, so happened to drop in a field somewhere and somebody found it, because you don't know what happened to the serial killers. You don't know really, okay, are they still, out there, making more murders? It's an open-ended thing. It just ends, and that's good. I like that. I really do. I've seen everything done a million times, and Ryan's was like a complete different thing. I don't want to read what he wrote in this text because he had an alternative ending, so I want to respect that. I'm not going to give that away. But if he wants to talk about it, if I could ever actually do an interview with him, I would really like it. He actually said that he did pull. There was one scene, it reminded me of Friday the 13th, but he said and it was like, dude, you're right. It's like one of those things that are on the tip of my tongue. And it's like, again, you pulled from good sources. He said, yeah, I got this one idea from I Spit on Your Grave. And it was like, yeah, you're right. But, I mean, you're talking like maybe the remake, but I think he probably meant the original one because that had that snuff feel to it. The remake was good, but it was more movie-based look. And Ryan's more for the grittiness, which I really appreciate. Dude, anybody who can do that, I tip my hat. And, again, his actors, very attractive women, and the poor guy, God, I can't say enough. I felt so bad for him and some little kid. Oh, my God. I was screaming at the set when I saw this little kid. The way he leads you, like, it's basically, I don't know how else to put it. Ryan, if you listen to this, it was like a blue ball moment with, your victims. Like, you lead us up to the victims, and you don't know in certain circumstances, okay, is this victim going to, what's going to happen to him? You want to know. And that's good. That's really good. So I appreciate that, Ryan. So, there's a lot of things. I'm trying to make sure I don't read anything that won't ruin it. I think his timing was good. 106 minutes, if I remember correctly, is good. I think he wants to release it on VHS, too, is what he was telling me. I'm kind of glancing over because, again, I probably gave too much here and there, but I just want to get people's interest up. Ryan is trying to push his film. Yeah, and, I can't say enough. He did a really nice job. The packaging was great. He's going out for the people that are fan base for his movie and are supporting him. I definitely am. Ryan, I apologize. If I said anything, I will pull this show. If you listen to this and you find out, wait, Walt, why did you say this? Which I don't think I try to say anything out of line or, not out of line, but anything that would ruin the movie. I want to get people's interest up because Ryan put a trailer up. I didn't really like the trailer too much, Ryan. I thought it was all right. But you're smart, though, because you didn't give anything away from the film. You just kind of showed a little bit here and a little bit there, but very, very little. And I know it's very difficult because I think, Ryan, you would agree with me if you were to be here with me. I guess what you're trying to do is a lot of films. Do you ever see a movie that they show you all the best parts of the film? You go to the movie, it's like, that's the only thing that was good about the movie. Well, Ryan didn't do that. He actually did not do that at all. And, folks, if you watch Ryan's film, don't read too much into it. Don't read into, well, this is not realistic on this or that. It's a film. It's a film he did. It's his first film. So give him credit. I really enjoyed it because he actually, again, I've said this a million times during this show, he thought outside of the box. Ryan, thank you for doing that. And it does have the grittiness of this, like, somebody, like, oh, my God. There's, you hear about this stuff. There was cases like this Ryan's is a film, but you've read this stuff in Philadelphia where the guy was binding and torturing women in his basement and killing them and feeding women to the other, feeding the bodies of the dead women to the other women. So, I mean, this stuff, it's that grittiness. If that... I can't remember that guy's name. If it was like Jeffrey Dahmer or something, and they were going around and they were filming what they were doing to these poor victims, this is what Ryan, I felt, kind of pulled across. If you look at it like, oh, well, it's not really much going on. No, there is stuff going on, folks. You got to see what Ryan, he was taking it from the perspective of the person who was the persons, because there's more than one, like this group of, and this really does go on. That's the thing that really scares me, too. A group of kids can get together, or, you know, people. I remember when I was in college at Cabrini, Monco, actually, where these guys would, you know, rent out houses together, or, you know, whatever. You don't even know if the freaking house that person was in. This is good, though. It could have been one of the victims' houses. So there's a lot that it just, you can keep on pulling from his movie. That's great. So, you know, if you look at it the way through the director / producer's eyes and the actors, it makes total sense. I think it does. If you don't understand this film, that's probably a problem with you, because I think, Ryan, thank you for what you did. And I'm going to leave it go at that, because I'm just like babbling on at this point. So everyone, have a good night. This was a special feature on AGONi. 2014 release. It actually got released 2015, but it's 2014 of Ryan's film. So please check out AGONi if you can, or go to Ryan's Ryan, or, you know, hey, finally send me a text or whatever. Write me on my Spreaker page, and I will send you the info to Ryan's what do you call it? But you can find Ryan on Facebook. Look for AGONi. You'll find the information you need to find out where he's going to be actually premiering his film. Everyone, have a good morning. I'm signing off.